The film is really about this huge event. The King and Queen are coming to visit, and it's the biggest thing that has happened at Downton in years.
The King and Queen are coming to stay.
What? During their Yorkshire tour?
That's it, just for a night.
I felt this was quite believable because they did make tours of the country at that time.
The aristocracy used to invite themselves to each other's houses if they were passing through. It was a sort of familial duty to provide a place to stay.
It's quite an honour.
It is, but if I know anything about royal visits, we will never stop changing our clothes.
The family are aristocrats, so they are part of that world, and it's their job to host the royal family well.
When that letter arrives from Buckingham Palace to say they're coming, blimey, there's obviously that excitement.
A royal luncheon, a parade, and a dinner. I'm going to have to sit down.
It creates chaos because everybody, of course, wants the visit to be perfect.
Members of the royal and imperial household are coming to Downton who will have visited the greatest houses in the land.
And then obviously then all the cogs have to start turning, and this place has to become worthy of a royal visit.
Well, of course, a family like the Crawleys, who are probably older than royalty itself, want to make it appear as though this is just, water off a duck's back.
But suppose it's still raining.
God will make it stop.
Even for the Crawleys, it's a huge deal that they're coming to visit. And there's this brilliant line that Princess Mary says,
"Just don't paint anything. They're sick of the smell of new paint."
This is what people would do, is they would redecorate for the family.
Everyone's at the top of their game because the King and Queen are coming to Downton.
Here they come now.
When the King and Queen arrive at Downton and all the staff and all the family are there and they drive up and the footmen open, there's a lot of protocol to be attended to. That was like a big piece of choreography.
Your Majesties, welcome to Downton Abbey.
We're glad to be here, Lady Grantham.
Now, you've got to remember that in 1927, very few people would have clapped eyes on the King and Queen. There was no TV. You might have heard their voice on the radio. And so the idea of seeing them in person must have been intoxicating.
We are quite used to people behaving strangely when we are near.
This is what these houses are meant to do. And, it's a big thing for the family, but it's a big thing for the town.
When they get there, there is a parade where the King is inspecting the Yorkshire Hussars, and that was a massive spectacle for us to stage.
More than 100 troopers and their horses meant that we had to build stables and an army camp for them all to stay in, so it was a huge logistical undertaking.
The military parade and the ball, the two big set pieces, I hope people will raise their eyebrows and go, wow.
In the series, we've done some big things, but it was pretty clear from the filmmaking point of view, the royal visit did feel on a scale that none of us had ever seen before. And that's something I'm really proud of.
It's 1927. We're modern folk.
This film was set in the 1920s. Everything from the costumes to the sets, it's all very authentic and incredible.
It's quite an honour.
I think Julian's made a very interesting story, and historically a very interesting study of a period, 1927.
British history has a particular set of literary, visual, cultural heritage that still resonates for people.
I think we'll enjoy it.
At the end of the Victorian period, the feudal structure is ending. And I think that what Downton Abbey presents is the last of these safe social structures. Absolutely everyone, from the Earl, Lord Grantham at the top, down to the most junior kitchen maid, has their place. And Downton Abbey we've brought to life by bringing that knowledge into the delivery of the narrative.
It's about sticking rigidly to the period, not thinking, oh, we'll use this light or we use this thing because it's beautiful, whatever. It's actually trying to be honest to the period.
All the props, all the set dressing had to feel so specifically correct and true. The real effect of those things brought the film a historical integrity.
Anna, our amazingly talented costume designer, she's just cranked it up another notch for the film, and everybody looks incredible.
To me, she looks dignified.
The costumes are on a much bigger scale, literally. They paint a picture and tell a story and get that kind of story arc for each character.
I mean, we're 1927, so what Anna's doing is bringing in a hint of the 30s. The dresses for the women are getting longer.
Every single dress just seemed to be better than the last one.
There's a lot of jewellery. I mean, at one point I was wearing 4 necklaces for one costume. It's ridiculous.
The sheer beauty of it and the beauty of the costumes and the detail of that work makes a huge difference to the look of the film.
The costumes are stunning and the locations are cinematic. So to really have that energy of making it all perfect has been very exciting.
Why do you think it's gone cold?
You said it were too many baths.
They can't all be having baths, they're not the ancient Romans. Oh, hello, Mr. Carson. What brings you here?
Cometh the hour, cometh the man.
Meaning?
I'm moving back into the house. His lordship has decided that we need a calm head in charge for the royal visit.
What about Mr. Barrow?
Time to consider the greater good, Mrs. Patmore. Mr. Barrow is young, and as we all know, he's a bit flighty.
He's younger than we are, but does that make him young and flighty?
What about me? Am I young and flighty too?
No.
Pity.
Now, what's this about the hot water? Has Mr. Barrow sent for a plumber?
Not as far as I know.
I rest my case. Now I shall inspect the rooms, all of the rooms, mind, and I shall see the proposed table settings, anything that might impinge on their Majesty's comfort.
And shall I fetch a bullwhip from the gun room?
You look a bit glum. You'd be glum if you'd been told you were surplus to requirements. What's happened? The previous butler has come back to manage the royal invasion. He'll be sorry. The royal household sweeps all before it. But if you've got some free time, we could have some fun. We could go into York. There's not much fun to be had in York. You'd be surprised. I grew up there.
Why is Granny being so funny about this Lady Bagshaw?
She's afraid she's going to leave her family estate away from the blood.
Ooh, who's the lucky heir?
No one knows, but I expect Granny will winkle it out before the visit's over.
Oh, any news on my frock?
I rang Madame Seymour's shop. They swore it would be here tomorrow.
Don't let her hear you call it a shop. Atelier, Anna.
The ball's on Friday, so we've got time.
You could always borrow a dress from your mother.
Oh, yes, that's just how I want to look, as if I've borrowed a dress from my mother.
Lady Mary could find you something.
Anna, what is it?
I was looking for Lady Hexam, milady. But can I ask you something odd?
How intriguing.
Could we go into the library and see if anything else is missing?
You mean like the things from the drawing room?
Well, I'm off.
Where are you going?
To the village.
Tom, is everything all right?
Why shouldn't it be?
Well, I know the King of England is hardly your favourite character.
What do you mean? The head of state is coming to Downton. Hurrah, say I.
Bertie told Edith about that man.
Well, they need to be sure of me, that's all. Who could blame them?
Ah, Mrs. Hughes. How thoughtful. In the midst of this turmoil. I'm sorry, Anna, it's all present and correct as far as I can tell.
Very good, milady.
Oh, dear. Mrs. Hughes, can you sort this out?
Not without a shotgun. Mr. Mosley, what are you doing here?
I've come to make sure of the state livery for tomorrow night. We haven't worn it for years, so I need to know that it's all there. Rule Britannia.
We've got our own state livery.
He meant for himself.
Start making your way round to the front. Orderly and quietly, please.
I can feel my heart beating through my coat.
Kindly keep your cardiac malfunction to yourself, Mr. Mosley.
What are you up to, Miss Lawton?
Final adjustments. What's that?
It's a ball dress for Lady Hexam.
Just in time.
I've been thinking.
Yes?
Our bed and breakfast hotel. Could it be in Downton Village?
But most of the houses are owned by the estate.
There are some that aren't, and that way we'll never lose touch.
With Lady Mary.
With the Abbey and all who live in it. We could even run it from here, if we want. What do you say?
That your wish shall be my command.
Someone might come in.
Let them. Let them see what true love looks like.
Let them see what true love is.
Laura and I walked around this castle saying goodbye to it at the end of the last season, and we were all crying. And now we've come back. It's a strange feeling, because there was, for a long time, it felt like it was the end. And we all feel quite silly now for getting really emotional because we came back 3 years later.
I still get a thrill driving up the driveway and kind of experiencing once again this horizon.
The great house sits amid acres and acres of rolling farmland.
This film has really the most magical shots of Downton Abbey that we've ever seen.
Camera left.
It was very important from everyone's point of view to go back to Highclere, because this big house was also a character in the story. And we were all very, very aware that it's definitely a film. It's definitely bigger.
We knew Downton Abbey is iconic, Highclere Castle is our world, but we could go even grander in this beautiful place.
There are a number of different set pieces through the movie, and on that bigger screen, we needed to raise the bar, and I think we have.
What attracted us to Highclere and what I love about it in the state rooms is they're all different.
It's a beautiful house.
From the dining room, there's a French drawing room, beautiful English library, a sort of Italianate saloon.
In terms of bringing it to the big screen, everything was sort of scaled up cinematically, and Ben Smithard, the DOP, brought it to a higher level.
It was quite ambitious, and I think benefited the film. A new eye walked through that door and saw new angles and saw new opportunities to shoot something which is very familiar to a lot of people. But I think you'll find that even the most familiar rooms of that house will have a new dimension to them. Highclere is really a superb building and superbly crafted in terms of its architecture and its beauty.
It's quite spectacular and incredibly cinematic, and looked amazing being there on the day and filming it.
The realization of bringing Downton to the big screen is a dream. It's something we're so familiar with. It's become almost part of our DNA, and to be able to take it to another level feels like an enormous privilege.
It's incredible, you know, to be actually in the real house one more time. That was really quite something.
I'm Julian Fellows, and I am the writer and creator of Downton Abbey.
Julian has done such a brilliant job at making the film an extension of the show while raising the stakes.
The King and Queen are coming to stay.
The audience gets a sense of the 20 characters that they love. You still want to know and get to know them and continue their journey.
There was a real challenge with such a large cast to have one story that all of our characters could be engaged in. And Julian worked very hard to make sure it was all beautifully done.
We are going to clear the way so you cook and serve dinner for the King and Queen at Downton Abbey.
We did feel quite strongly that a film demanded a certain kind of creative unity.
Julian is so brilliant at carrying so many different stories. So much content is there of what is important to the different characters.
He's not my hero.
Yes. Why did you call him that? You can't just continue the story like you would in an episode in the series. You need to go on a bit more of a journey.
He has a facility to tell very satisfying stories in just a few scenes. And this is really illustrated in a very touching scene between Mary and Violet.
Our ancestors lived different lives from us, and our descendants will live differently again, but Downton Abbey will be part of them.
It's just more of, I think, what people love about Downton.
Julian doesn't judge what anybody brings to it or what their contribution is to the situation. Whether you're a scullery maid or the lord of the manor, they can succeed or fail or be noble or be foolish.
I think there was something appealing in that philosophy, that on the whole, every life has its hurdles that must be overcome. And it is one of my own core beliefs that for all the horror stories in every day's newspaper, the fact is that most people are trying to do their best.